Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to spend some time and expose VTubers as massive hypocrites after they decided to virtue signal on Twitter. Western VTubers being hypocrites, shocking, I know. But today we're going to continue our study of the effects of clout, because clout is a hell of a drug. It's one that dulls any sense of self-awareness, and we're going to look at 3 VTubers who have recently morally grandstanded or throw pity parties over topics they have no business discussing anymore because of their not-so-distant past, where they bullied, threatened, and harassed people over similar topics, and even flung false allegations against their peers with no evidence, and even told people to end their lives over something as stupid as drawings. Now, a little ground rule before I continue. I'm going to censor all their names, not because I'm some do-gooder, but instead because I'm denying them clout. They love attention, even if it's negative, so denying them that, while also pointing out their hypocrisy, is the funniest option in this situation. So VTuber number 1, they made a couple tweets over the past few months that I think are very interesting. So about a day ago, they made this tweet, likely referring to Zion, saying, "Clout roach VTubers be praying for someone's downfall, but the moment it's convenient to get on their good side, all you hear is dick-sucking sounds. Be for real. It's so funny to see how people are switching sides in a matter of seconds, just because they could potentially gain something from it." Like I said, this is likely about Zion, so that whole situation is pretty interesting on Twitter. So about a month ago, when Zion was terminated by Niji-sanji, a lot of VTubers were celebrating because they didn't like some of the edgy jokes she made, and they were grandstanding about that. Fast forward to this week, Zion comes out with her own side of the story and paints a picture that she was mistreated by her management at Niji-sanji, and now all of these VTubers are switching up and welcoming her back with open arms as she continues as an independent VTuber once again. And of course, it's a whole bunch of hypocrisy. But looking at this tweet, it's like, I sure do hope you were never involved in the praying of someone else's downfall. Like, I hope you never engaged in that behavior yourself. Well, we'll have to check your past. But there's one other tweet I want to look at first, and this one is from only a few months ago, saying, "Before people make career-ruining accusations, they really should think twice about the wording and actual situation they're describing. I see the term grooming being thrown around a lot when the situation isn't even that. Twitter is so quick to jump to situations without any research when it can F up someone's reputation or life a lot unnecessarily. Of course, there's situations where the terms apply, but at least look into the evidence given before going on a hunt." Just like the last tweet, I sure do hope you have never made career or potentially career-ruining accusations against someone with no evidence, and I sure do hope you've never engaged in these similar type of hunts on other VTubers based on no evidence. Well, they did. Here is a whole thread they made about the VTuber Kyoto. Now, if you want to learn a lot about a given VTuber, just ask them, where were you during January of 2021? Because that was the week, a couple of weeks during that month, where the VTuber Kyoto was harassed on a massive scale by hundreds of VTubers, given the fact that, due to the fact that she had a lolly succubus model at the time. She has since upgraded to a bustier model, but back then, before her debut, she had artwork for her lolly succubus model, and it made a lot of people angry, especially when she won a VTuber thighs competition on Twitter, and that caused a whole bunch of controversy where VTubers like this came out to attack her over winning the competition. So here's what they had to say about Kyoto. It said, "Why is that lolly succubus child on my timeline again, and she has a not safe for work tag now? What the F? They said they would adjust their model, which is fine and made people happy, but now that they see pedos support them, they do a 180 and keep the child lingerie model. Come on. I'm probably going to be attacked for just mentioning her, but I'm just so disappointed, man. Mess up, apologize, learn from it, and no one will talk stuff, but mess up, apologize, and then do it again, but worse? It's just sad that she herself isn't willing to change either and just caters to pedos instead." Obviously, some very serious accusations that she caters to pedos and even sees that these pedos are supporting her and she's actively catering to them. Very serious accusation over someone's model, by the way. So this was the response to the competition, the official account running that VTuber Thighs competition, which is now deleted, but she responded to them by saying, honestly, I get that you want to be fair and stuff, but if fair means you give a sexualized child and her pedophile supporters a platform, I really wouldn't care about the rules or competition. Again, calling all of her supporters pedos, saying that her model is a sexualized child when it is a fictional succubus that looks nothing like a child, is a very serious thing to do with no evidence to support any of these things. I don't care if you don't like her model, if it makes you uncomfortable, fine, that's great. Block her, don't talk about her. Because talking about her is just spreading it to more people, and it does nothing. And flinging these false allegations, calling these people pedos and pedo supporters, you're just watering down the term, which makes people not take serious allegations with the full level of respect that they deserve, because the term's been watered down so much, it's become a buzzword because of people like this. But another thread, someone was asking who is this person, and she said, succubus lolly, who isn't worth looking up, to be honest. Probably the most fair thing they said, just don't look her up. If you don't like her, don't look her up. But eventually they responded to this whole thing by saying they don't know if it's a pedophilic owner, but she just defends pedophilia and enables it. Yeah, I'm not saying you're a pedophile. I'm just saying that you defend it and you enable it. Yeah, that you're calling her a pedophile. Like, please don't try to do the anti-insult here where you're like, I'm not calling her a pedophile, but she does cater to them and enables the whole thing. Yeah, you're doing it. You are calling her a pedophile. That's a serious allegation, not something that should be slung around over drawings, okay? I get and respect your personal disgust with it, but you called someone a pedo over this stuff 2 years ago, and then you come out with a thread basically saying don't sling false allegations at people only because that person was your friend in that case, where you switch up your attitude really quickly, as opposed to this situation where you didn't know this person, you joined in on the harassment campaign without even flinching. Not that long ago, by the way. So they made another thread a couple days later, they just could not stop, saying, Dear VTuber community, let people do whatever the F they want as long as they don't hurt anyone. Literally, who even cares if someone wants some coochie or not? So this account is clearly suspended, but you can tell based on context largely what they're saying, where she replies, can you get your pedo ass out of my replies? She is hurting people by enabling pedophilia. So stop being such a white knight, you omega virgin. I'm tired of it. This just continues to prove my theory that VTubers are just e-girls with an extra step. Like, look at these insults. Like, whenever you argue with an e-girl, they resort to calling you a virgin or an incel. Like, they have no real argument. So in the same breath of watering down the term pedo and accusing someone of catering to pedophiles, that's the only real insult they can come up with by calling a random person a pedo on top of being a virgin. Like, again, just calling a random person a pedo for no reason because they're pointing out their hypocrisy, because up here they're saying let people do whatever they want, and then someone does whatever they want, and then they call someone a pedo over it. It's ridiculous. But they continued on, and this is where they left things, saying, it's the only thing they can do, again, replying to another deleted tweet, like, y'all expect VTubers to hatch out of eggs and start right away, even if the succubus lolly they defend is a debut to be announced. Well, she did debut, and she's still around to this day, and really it's a testament to not only her thick skin for getting through all of that, but also the fact that people like this actively promoted her. All the hates not only promoted her account before she debuted, it also made people rally behind her because they saw a woman being mistreated and labeled the worst accusations in the world over the design of her model, which you didn't have to consume in any way or shape or form. You could have just ignored it, but you didn't. Instead, you basically platformed her and shot her into quick success. So that's that whole situation. The same person who's saying, don't start witch hunts, don't falsely accuse people. Well, I remember what you did to Kyoto, and I think people shouldn't forget either, because it wasn't that long ago, and you never apologized, and you never deleted your tweets either. These are still up. Unlike a lot of the other Kyoto threads where people were attacking her, almost all of them are deleted. people have gone back and deleted them because they know it makes them look really bad in the present, and still here. So it either shows that they just don't care enough to go back and change it, or they're just still holding these beliefs and supporting these false allegations they made all of those years ago. But moving on to another one, this once again involves Zion. So this VTuber is someone who's been in a couple of my videos, especially the Hogwarts Legacy stuff. They are a Twitter freak, true and true. They threaten and harass people over video games, label them as transphobes for such, and they were one of the people back in March who were celebrating the termination of Zion's contract with Niji Sanji and saying, how am I not surprised, over the announcement made by Niji Sanji's official account. And when people asked for an explanation, well, they pointed out the R-word jokes, where she made a joke about a fictional character in one of the games she was playing. And she said she was playing a game where the character got R-worded, and she made a really tasteless joke about it. So fast forward to this week when the independent VTuber Sayu, who is not officially Zion, by the way, shared Zion's story, and this VTuber responded with, Niji Sanji L. Welcome back to the indie world. Yeah, you know, I was only kind of dunking on you about 2 months ago, but now, welcome back. Like, if you can't see the hilarious switch up here, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the second it's convenient to be nice to this person, they turn around and do it. But it's not the first time they've kind of made some disingenuous clout-chasing like tweets. So they made a tweet about the Pikami graduation, which is hilarious because they were involved in the whole Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign. But they said the Pikami graduation is not an excuse to go and harass others. It's not an excuse to harass trans people, and it's definitely not an excuse to go and harass her and her fans. Do not put words in my mouth. I'm not excusing anyone's harassment. When I said you did this, I meant the a-holes who told her to literally die, not the people who are minding their own business. Understand that. Let it sink in. Yeah, those evil people telling people to die. Death threats. God, that's so horrible. Who would make death threats like that over the internet? You. Not even that long ago. So, retweeting some of their art and captioning it with, kill your local lolicon. That is a death threat over drawings. You're threatening real people over drawings. I don't know how you don't see the problem here. And when it comes to Pikami, pretty ironic, because Pikami is quite possibly was the most open lolicon and Shotokan out there. Like, it doesn't get much more open and notorious than Pikami, okay? So when you made your little tweet saying don't harass her, be nice, all those things, either it was just completely disingenuous clout chasing, or you're just a massive hypocrite. Or likely both, because if you truly believe kill your local lolicon, that would apply to Pikami. And do you believe that she should be harassed or sent threats like that? Yeah, kind of need to explain yourself. I guess it's okay when some people do it and it's not okay when others do it, or you'll look the other way when it's convenient for you. But going back to the main thread, people were pointing out her hypocrisy, not only for switching up on the Zion situation, but also her past as well. So she responded to that by saying, imagine learning context behind what she said. People can change. Well, here's the thing. Zion really didn't change. She didn't do anything other than provide additional context. Like, the joke she made still happened, right? And she replies down here saying, when people they don't like form a different opinion when new and concise evidence is shown. Why did you jump to conclusions before you heard the other side speak? That's number one. But number two, again, the joke still happened. The new document, all it did was point out other stuff, mainly how she was treated by her management and shining some light on things that didn't actually happen or were grossly blown out of proportion. So she didn't really change. So if you were that offended by her joke that you'd celebrate her termination, that aspect has not changed. So where are you going with this? I don't know. Just not really surprising behavior. They're constantly pointed out as being a hypocrite on these subjects. So I guess I'm not very surprised by all this. But moving on, this was a flashbang for me. This is a little bit of a different one from the other ones. So over the past month or so, Twitter has changed how their For You page works. So normally what would happen is your For You page would be filled with people you either follow or those people and who they interact with, right? Now it's just open, right? Anybody can end up on your For You page, including some people that you don't want to see. I mean, I've had like cartel execution videos end up on my timeline. But honestly, I would rather watch that than to have this person end up on my timeline. So apparently they have created a new account. This Vtuber has been around for 3 years and still hasn't made their debut, by the way. Apparently they made a new account. That's why I'm not blocked, and that's why this ended up on my timeline, where they're doing a little bit of sad posting, saying, I've convinced myself that no one cares about me, which I'm not here to dunk on this. Like, I'm not happy to see these people upset about things, but I do like to point out the fact that they are sad about people not caring about them, and yet they have treated people so badly in their past and not so distant past. So if you recognize even the profile picture, you know who I'm talking about here. This account and their former account have been dedicated to battling lolicons nonstop. They have had some of the worst takes ever, and in the process, they have said some of the most vicious and rude things to people you could ever imagine. So here's one of the classics where someone was saying that it's wrong to call people pedophiles over lolicon and other fictional content, and that people have been harassed into suicide for that. And you know what this VTuber responded with? Good. Yes, they're saying it's good that people are harassed into ending their own lives over drawings. They said that's good. And yet they want to throw a pity party for themselves that, oh man, no one cares about me. Well, you don't care about people's lives. You would celebrate someone being bullied into harming themselves over drawings. And you don't understand why some people might want to distance themselves from you when you treat drawings better than real people. It's disgusting. And you can just see from like the way they respond. This is from the same thread where the person said, you really think it's good they received harassment for liking a weird fictional thing? Oh, for being a pedophile? Yeah, which of course you know she believes that liking lolicon makes you a pedo, of course. And, you know, this whole thing just so dismissive. Goodbye. When people are making valid points. I don't know. So fast forwarding to now, I will never be happy to see things like this, but I also won't feel sorry for you. You've treated people worse than drawings. You treat drawings with more respect than actual human beings because they consume something that you find distasteful. And also, I will spare you the your likes are public thing. There's plenty of underage characters in your likes, but I don't really care enough to go through that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, seeing this was a bit of a little bit of a flashbang to my memory. And to be honest, despite what anyone would think, I hope this person turns things around. I hope they debut. I hope it goes well. I hope they have a good career. And I hope in the process, they learn to treat people better and let their personal distaste of certain fictional content not allow them to mistreat and abuse people. And I hope they can learn that lesson. And I hope that helps make them feel happier and closer to other people. That's how I truly feel. But until you actually treat people with respect, it's not surprising that you're not getting it in return. But that's going to do it for this video. I know this was a very long one, but it was a bit of a cathartic experience talking about some VTuber hypocrisy, as always. But please let me know all your thoughts about these topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.